Hello, everyone. Hello, those of you who are watching this in real time and those who will watch the recording. Thank you to Prasna Kumar for arranging this and um, having me read for you. My name is Don Krieger. Um, I'm an American. I'm in Florida in the United States, in Tallahassee, Florida, the capital of the state, and the home of the fascist governor of Florida. Um, I'm going to read to you from a book which I've just released for free. Um, it's entitled We in America. And let me put this up for you. Hopefully, you can see that. Um, you're looking at the cover right now. At the top is an image of a newspaper advertisement from 1838. um, it's an estate sale, and they're selling household and kitchen furniture and six people, a man, three women, and two children. This was the United States. It was founded with chattel slavery as part of its structure, and we still live with the legacy of that slavery. The picture below is the aftermath of the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima, Japan. We still live with the aftermath of that too, of course. The book is divided into four sections: a prologue, the big lie, we in America, and the epilogue. And each of the sections begins with its theme. The prologue: nothing is more profane, indifference. Sunday drive. I only need to show my face at work sometimes. Most of what I do is online. Since the COVID, though, it's that way for almost everyone. We ping pong every other week, her place or mine, 4 hours each way in my sealed car at 80, like a transport pod in Musk's Hyperloop. But we have windows. Truck packs race in slow motion, shredded treads, bright fog, roadkill, tunnel mouth, cops under every overpass, glaring like the dazzling sun. Once we stopped in Breezewood for crackers. The manager was terrified. He checked each of us at the door for a mask, as if we had come for his head. Just this Friday, my office computer went down. I'm not essential, so I called someone who was to push the reset button. The grandbaby was born on Friday, too. We drove up first thing Saturday, watched little Becky while dad helped mom in the hospital, then drove back 4 hours each way. Broken trees laid flat, cell towers and billboards. Jesus saves, fresh cracked eggs, hog barns, silos, keep America great. When will we reap the whirlwind? We're hoping mom and baby come home today, and we're waiting 2 weeks to see if we got the COVID or they did. Driving back, South Jersey was empty and dark as a closet. Some fool sat in the blind spot on my bumper for half an hour. We were frightened, and enough is enough. I slowed to get his tag number. Not so easy, since he slowed too. Flags on every porch, church buses on cruise control, chain reaction pile up, Are you confused? Trust Jesus. 1-800-4-TRUTH. I turned on the dome light and dialed 911 as we passed him. He bore off on an exit just then. Maybe the cops got him, maybe not. I wonder if he had a pistol and what would have happened had I. That Sunday drive. Unveiling. October 27, 2018, Shabbos morning. A monster shouting, Jews will not replace us, opened fire at the Tree of Life synagogue. 3 days later, the first of the murdered were buried. One was husband to my coworker and friend. 11 lives taken at the Tree of Life. Hours later and miles away, our writing workshop canceled. Our chance for defiance, however small, gone. I waited at the funeral with hundreds to pass security, newsboys on the street asking with their cameras who was afraid. I watched her halting walk to his grave, reluctant like a child. I followed like a child with a shovel full of earth to cover him. I listened to the learned seeking meaning, hundreds crowded into the Beth Shalom basement, police in armor at the entrance. When the door locked behind us, I noticed the dampness and a draft on my bare neck. Today was 11 months, hundreds standing witness in the warmth beneath the trees. I still live, so I was there. I wonder, though, would we have canceled our workshop for a drive-by at a playground? The big lie. Nothing is more seductive. Privilege. May we always remember, understand, and care enough to do better sooner. In the beginning, there are no slaves. Anyone that sets foot here becomes free. Men and women are equal before the law. Article 19, Pinochet's Constitution. Our fathers conceived America in war and a sweet promise. All men are equal. 11 years later, at full term, with a quill dipped in iron gall ink, they aborted their oath to enslaved people, to the indigenous, and to the unmale. Even Chile's monster did better. But for wealth and war, we in America were never great. Martha's dowry and George's will. Our first president was one of the few who was not carried away by power, Robert Frost. The picture is Mount Vernon, the female slave quarters. Mount Vernon was George Washington's ancestral home, the first president of the United States. He was 11, heir to the family farm and 10 slaves. Later that year, he bought 8 more and yet another 7 as a young man. He lived 3 generations. At his death, he owned 123 and 153 more. Martha's dowry doubled in their 20-year marriage. His and hers hostage to the law, destined for return to her first husband's heirs. George's death freed his own, though he left it to Martha to sign their deeds. He was our first king in all but name. He could have ended it and redeemed the nation. Principled and elegant, said Abigail Adams. Comments from my dear friends. You disrespect the father of our country. Most people own slaves. You would have too. It's not poetry. My dear friend, if we had sat together in a Berlin cafe on that black election day in 1932, sharing our art, laughing and learning, I know you would have spoken for evil, though the beast and his brown shirts were weaker then than ours are now. Would you still have spoken so in 33 when their mad master, so like ours, triumphed? Or weeks later when their capital burned? Or the next day when their Patriot Act passed? Or the next month when their Manzanar opened? What say you now, so like then, just weeks since our president's darlings, the uncolored beasts, swarmed our Reichstag? Which of us will pick up your tab this time, and what will it be? When is the end of friendship? Will you speak for the monsters still, tender yet again your gaslighting caress to all of us who love you? That poem was translated into German by Antje Sten, and it's been published in Germany as well. This is a longer piece, an essay. I just want to read the last part of it. It's called We Remember Goodwood. Goodwood is the name of a slave plantation in Tallahassee, Florida, where I live. At the end, I think more about Mount Vernon, where George Washington grew up. I visited Mount Vernon in sixth grade. We loved George Washington as father of America, even though the furniture and mirrors in his house were plain compared with Goodwood. I recall no mention of the enslaved people's lives there either, though recently I found picture of the women's quarters online. They look an awful lot like the barracks at Auschwitz, don't they? There is a difference, though. Auschwitz was never meant to hold families generation after generation. And you can see at the bottom, on the left is Mount Vernon, on the right is Auschwitz. I wanted to thank everyone again for watching this video and for coming either live or delayed. Um, I've posted a link that you can use to download the book. I've posted in We Are the Earth in the Facebook chat. We Are the Earth, and if anyone has difficulty getting it, please, you can find me on Facebook, and you can find me at donspoetrypage.com, and I'll send you a link and you can have the book. And please feel free to pass it on to anyone who wishes to have it. I want the book to be out there. I want it to be read. One other interesting thing about this book, you can't see in this particular image because I'm not showing you the whole page, but each poem at the top, you'll see a symbol at the upper right. It's called a QR code. It's one of these codes that you can use. You can follow the code with your cell phone, and it'll take you to a YouTube reading of the poem. And all the poems I've placed videos of them on YouTube, and they're in a playlist. So you, it, if you get into the playlist and you want to, you can just let it run and it'll just take you all the way through the book. Strange Days. 1 in 1,000 Black men in America can expect to be killed by police. Edwards et al., Proceedings of the National Academy, 2019. I woke to the governor's stay-at-home order, drove the turnpike anyway. Each cop we passed, and there were many, I thought of my white Subaru and my skin like 1,000 times before. May we always remember, understand, and care enough to do better sooner. We in America, this section is where the title comes from, but all the poems apply to we in America. Cliches are cliches because they work. They work because we long to believe. My nation is great. God is good. In the beginning, we must know ourselves, St. Augustine. We in America wake to the horror, 1,200 dead, 200 abducted, Israel poised to destroy as God did to Sodom. We swear never forget, or free Palestine, or some other such meme of the moment. Babel, the towers at city center in flames, smoke and harbor stench billowing silver in the sun. And so it goes on and on. We care as we watch on TV, but we live in an orchard. Figs and cedar, fresh bread and warm shade, clean work and time stretching to the evening cool. The innocents and righteous of Israel and Gaza may as well have died with Lot's nameless wife, killed by God for caring, because he never did, even for his own. So why should we? We in America may as well have lived as imbeciles in Eden, where knowledge was forbidden, when hate and humanity were new. Lament for those held hostage tonight. One moment. On October 7, 2023, terrorist gangs breached the Israeli-Gaza border, killed 1,200, and kidnapped 247. The ferocious response of Israel's military has killed 20,000 innocents and counting, and turned the lives of Gaza's millions upside down. Lament for those held hostage tonight. Tonight, Israel lives, sworn to defiance and blood, in fear for her children, shackled by fanatics or dead. Gaza waits breathless the hell strike to come. Her creatures hide in her ruins, surrounded by innocents. How many would kill me if they knew me? How many would I murder if I could? Which of us is clean? I judge myself without mercy. Yet the brutal cycle we cherish in God's image is beggared by his cruel glory. I am a Jew without hope or faith, yet I can still pray and do. One more time this night, may your death angel pass me by, leave me whole, your chosen, terrorized and waiting for tomorrow's horrors. If you truly exist and hear, then hear this. You are a beast and unfit. So too your zealots, whatever their name for themselves or you. If I held your might, Almighty God, in that instant I would erase you and your memory from all that is. If you truly exist and care, open the earth and destroy me. For though I claim nothing over Moses, your darling, I claim goodness over you. Surely we would be better off without you, but who, if not you, can stop the madness? Who even wants to? Surely not Israel, whose privilege stands on her armed might and her God-given destiny. Surely not the dispossessed Palestine, whose only strength is destruction. Surely not their Arab kin, whose only gifts are weapons forged for an ancient feud. And surely not America, we whose nuclear bullets hold the world hostage, like those Israeli hostages shackled in Gaza tonight, like those Gaza innocents beggared by Israel's might. That's lament for those held hostage tonight. In November 2023, Al Shifa Hospital came under repeated Israeli attacks as a suspected Hamas command center and hostage transshipment hub. In the ensuing weeks, the 50,000 refugees sheltered there and many patients, including 31 premature babies, were evacuated to save their lives. Ground Zero. On that sunny morning in August 1945, Shima Hospital held only unwhites with strange faces and customs, no hostages or anyone else of value. Why not incinerate the 80,000 in and around it and doom 200,000 more to something slower and crueler? 200 yards to the west, the city's commercial exhibition hall braved the hellfire and still stands. Today, Hiroshima is reborn with 10 times the population it had when America killed it. Shima Hospital was rebuilt where it stood, but the scorched walls of the exhibition hall remain naked, a testament to the resilience of European handiwork, to the defiance of life in the face of wholesale murder, all embodied in the dogged tolerance of stone for insufferable heat. Leaf-clad stone ramparts, phoenix trees at River's Fork, deciduous souls. That's Ground Zero. That haiku that closes this poem, which is a haibun, was published in the Asahi Shimbun, the largest English language Japanese newspaper and a very large Japanese language paper. I wanted to read you maybe a couple of very short aphorisms, really. They look like haiku. You don't have to be a religious nut to be ruled by fear. Participate in polls. Help politicians fashion the lies you're willing to believe. And of course, the the aphorism on the cover of this book, but for wars and wealth, we in America were never great. I want to thank Kumar again and thank everyone for being here. Please reach out to me if you can't find my book. I'm on Facebook and at donspoetrypage.com. And I'm going to close now with two short pieces from the final section. Epilogue. May we always remember, understand, and care enough to do better sooner, even when we don't want to. Our shared humanities. Nothing is deadlier, dogma, more primordial, pain, so beautiful, courage, riskier, faith, seductive, privilege, more noble and just, war, more profane and hurtful, indifference, crueler, God, no greater truth, kindness, nor greater lie, color, nothing is more human, discovery. A new world. I gashed my knee, my head too, maybe a broken rib. Someone at work offered a bed so he could check me through the night. As a kid, I often fell, a stone under a skate, a bike crash. When a scrape bled or that time they found me, head against a tree root, no one said a word or seemed to care. I didn't either. If they see my frailty, though, how long will I hold my job? How much safer to look good now that I'm old. At the Giant Eagle, an old man stares at the pay pad till the clerk presses the button for him. I use cash so I won't look like that. Outside, they walk by laughing, hand in hand, or just looking at each other. I don't notice their color, only that they're young and have accents I don't understand. At the lotto counter, we wait, our faces and posture American, surrendered to hope and chance like trees. We could do something with life in it, look at each other, or at least at those faces on the street. Is that why we hate them, saying what they please, acting like they're free? Lately, people talk faster than I can listen, like I'm sitting on a bench and they're running by. Maybe I'm listening too deep to keep up, because under the talk, I see the vitality of their thought and hear our shared humanity. It's getting worse, and I'm often near tears, but it feels like freedom. That's We in America. Thank you again to Kumar, and thank everyone for being here.